Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is Jazz Zainab. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. So today I'm going to tell my reversion story. I recorded this so many times. I actually just recorded another version of it just now. And I'm like, okay, scratch that one too. This is so difficult for me to record because I'm just finding it difficult to really talk about it. But hopefully I make it through this. That's my prayer. Like, the only reason why I'm telling it is because I think it'll help a lot of people who are perhaps in my position and who are looking into something else. We've all been through a lot this year, and I know personally that Islam has been the best thing that has happened to me. It's really put me on the straight path, and I just couldn't be more appreciative of being guided to Islam. So let's get right into it. I was raised in a Christian family. We were Church of Christ. Most of my family still is Church of Christ. I would ask a lot of questions, a lot of them having to do with the science of the Bible, like, where's the science, or just asking certain questions about, Jesus, peace be unto him, and not being able to get the answers that I needed. And I just remember just feeling so unfulfilled. And, they say when you go to church, you're supposed to, you're getting fed for the week. You go every Sunday, you get fed your spiritual food, and you, it's enough to get you through the week or something like that. That's what they said at my church anyway. And I just remember just being around like 18 or so, I was not being fed spiritually at that church, or any church for that matter. And the thing is, I went to different churches and just to try something different, and I just wasn't being fed by Christianity spiritually anymore, because I felt like I had all these questions, wasn't getting the answer. So around the age of 17, 18, we stopped going to church. I'm saying we, but it was my sisters too, some of my sisters. And we just stopped going. But when I turned 18, a few months later, my stepfather passed away, and it was really sudden and just unexpected, just out of the blue. And, my whole family kind of went into this dark place, like this depression. We became really unstable as a family. Of course, my mother and my 4 sisters, we didn't have my stepdad anymore. And it was a really unstable time. It was so unstable to the point where I became homeless after that. But I mean, like, homeless, like on the street, walking the streets at night, homeless as an 18-year-old girl. Really dangerous. Alhamdulillah, nothing super serious happened to me. Like, I'm still alive. And I'll just leave it at that. It was dark times, but I remember having this feeling of just being, my life just out of control. So fast forward, I started learning and dabbling into other religions, never Islam for some reason, even though I knew some really decent Muslims. I never dabbled into Islam for some reason, but I started dabbling into different religions. I was learning about Buddhism. I was learning about Scientology. I was learning about all kinds of things. At one point, I was a Baha'i. For some reason, I landed on paganism and being pagan, and it really gave me my power back, I should say. And when I say paganism, I mean I was practicing witchcraft. I'm only telling y'all this because it's part of my reversion story, and I believe that my story might help someone somewhere. I don't know, or it might give someone the strength to heal their life. I don't know why I'm telling this story. It's really difficult, and I recorded this story, like I said, so many times. I recorded this because I was so nervous about how I would be perceived after telling this story in the Muslim community, and if the people in the previous community that I was in, the pagan witchcraft community, if they found my videos, like, what would they say about me? And so I had these things going in my mind, and I just didn't know how to share it. And the only reason why I'm sharing it, because I know it's haram to talk about things that you did in the past that weren't good, but there's like this big wave of practicing witchcraft or paganism going on, especially in the US and in the UK for sure. And so I don't know. I don't know if this will help anyone. I hope it does, because like I said, Islam has been the best thing that I could have done for me. Anyway, back to the story. I discovered paganism for myself, and I started doing that as a way to control my life, because for me, I never wanted my life to feel out of control again after what I've experienced, just being homeless and lots of other experiences that I went through. Not having the proper tools to handle those situations. Yeah, it just had me feeling really lost, and not being able to use the religion I grew up in to help myself out of that situation. Yeah. So anyway, so a few times while I was practicing, because I practiced the paganism thing for 10 years. And a few times throughout, I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I felt like I was being pulled into something different, but I was really resistant for some reason. Really, really resistant, because for me, I believe it was because I knew that if I did something different, that was me giving up the control. And of course, we know that as Muslims, we know that we're not in control. Anyway, and no matter how things look on the outside, no matter if you think you're controlling things, you're not. So that was an interesting lesson that I learned this year, the year that I became a Muslim, 2020. But yeah, so I was going through this, and I remember just even last year, 2019, just feeling really fed up and not really explaining that to other people. Like, I would say things like, I don't know, I'm just, really open to something different. But I never really went into depth about how much I was suffering, and just me trying to hold on to this control. It was really hard on me. So of course 2020 came, and of course COVID came, and lots of other things happened this year. And the things that happened this year really made me put into perspective my life and what I want to do, where I want to ultimately be, and what that will look like for me. I remember telling people that I know in the pagan community that I was just not feeling it anymore. I don't know what it was. I was just like, I'm done with this. When you let go of like a religion, or if you're just like kind of fed up with the religion or the way you were brought up or the culture that you're in, or just when you're fed up with how you've been living life and you give that up and you don't know what's next, there's like this void that can be filled with anything, and it's kind of scary to think about because it can literally be filled with anything. For me, I just was like, okay, I don't know what's next, but I'm open to something better, because after the Black Lives Matter events this year and seeing people getting killed over and over and over again, and the deaths happening and all of this stuff that we kept getting just hit with this year, like, it really put so much into perspective for me. And I just became exhausted with the way the world was. I became exhausted with the choices that I've made and the choices that I was making. I just got exhausted with trying to keep up with controlling all of it. I just got exhausted with the control that I wanted. I wanted control of my life. And I think that's when I just gave up, and I just put my hands up and I said, I don't know. But I literally cannot do this anymore. I just can't do this anymore.